Hello everybody and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today we'll be taking a look at a very unique LEGO set. That being set number 21313, the Ship in a Bottle from the LEGO Ideas line. This set comes with 962 pieces and retails for around $70 in the United States. And while that price to part ratio might seem pretty good at first, that's really only because the set includes 284 trans blue 1x1 studs for the water. But anyway, this is a very unique set, as I've previously mentioned, and it does, as also mentioned, it comes from the LEGO Ideas line, and this is probably the most unique set we've gotten from LEGO Ideas so far. I mean, it's a LEGO ship in a bottle. Who would even think of that? Well, the answer is, of course, the designer. But anyway, enough about that. Let's just look at this model at... What am I trying to say here? Let's just look at the set. There we go. And starting off, we'll look at it as a whole. The ship in the bottle on the stand. And you can see that this is a very nice design. Obviously, the bottle is built entirely out of trans clear LEGO bricks, so that you can see the ship inside, and I think it looks pretty nice. You do obviously have gaps between the pieces, but honestly, there's literally no way to get around that, and I mean, if this did just look like a bottle, then there's really no point even having a LEGO ship in a bottle. I mean, if there weren't those gaps, and it just looked like just entirely like a bottle, you might just, you could just as well put this boat in like an actual bottle. So, I'm glad that it is clearly made out of LEGO. But, if we zoom in a little, you can see that, the cork is a very nice design. You have a sort of rounded 4x4 dish on the front. And you also have a nice golden wheel piece there to get a bit of texture. And you also have a nice, what's the name of it? The stamp, I guess. That is a printed piece. All of the parts in the set are printed. And that is an exclusive print to the set as well. And those are the initials of the designer at LEGO. I think it's a bit odd and maybe even a bit insensitive and wrong that those are not the initials of the fan designer, but really, if you look at the original fan submission of the set, the final model really looks nothing like it, and for the better in my opinion, so I can't really mind, since this set was pretty much redesigned from the ground up. But you can also see that the cork even extends inside of the bottle, which is a pretty nice touch. But yeah, I mean, again, there's just not much to talk about with the bottle itself. I mean, at the back, you can see that, obviously, LEGO had to use quite a few more pieces to sort of build it up at the back and create a sturdy base. So, and while all these pieces are transparent, they definitely, there's so many of them that they really can be hard to see through, aside from those two large panels at the back. But I mean, again, I actually kind of like this. I don't know, it creates a very nice crystalline, I guess, effect. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to say about the bottle itself. Like, it looks very nice, but there's not much to say about it. I mean, it houses 284 clear blue studs, but yeah, so now let's move on to the ship itself that resides in the bottle. So here we have the flagship Leviathan, and before I talk any more about the boat, I should just mention, or well, ship, not boat. Why do I keep calling it a boat? I mean, I guess a ship is a boat, but the flagship Leviathan. Anyway, before I talk any more about it, I just want to mention that it is not an easy feat to remove this from the bottle. I would not recommend it. So I would decide pretty early on if you want to display this thing by itself or in the bottle, because it's pretty annoying and difficult to make the transition between. But anyway, let's just take a look at the ship itself, which looks very nice. I mean, it's not nearly as detailed as the original fan submission, but that's because the original fan submission for the ship was absolutely giant. As was the bottle itself, and there was no way LEGO was going to produce a product of that size, especially seeing as how the bottle, like, in the fan submission, the bottle kind of looked rather deformed and didn't even look like a real bottle. So I definitely prefer LEGO's design here. But, yeah. Anyway, the flagship Leviathan looks really nice, and, I think I should start by mentioning this really great printed flag piece they use for the middle of the sails. You get 5 in this set, and you can see that it has the sort of red and white checker pattern, along with the Leviathan there, and this was actually meant to mimic the older Castle Lion logo, and I think it's a good design. I like it. But anyway, you can see that the majority of the ship is built in a sort of a dark orange color, which I like. It's not a color we see too often from LEGO, so it's a nice choice. Up at the front, you can sort of see that you have this little flag up front, which did get bent up a bit. It's actually only supposed to go up to, like, here. I mean, that's sort of the thing with this ship. It is pretty easy for things to get bent out of place when you start messing with it, so definitely be very careful. But yeah, the sails are actually attached on with some very clever techniques. Like, those are neck brackets used there, which is pretty unique, to be honest, and I kind of like it. Actually, I really like it. Now, what am I saying? It's a great technique. The floor of the ship is extremely simplistic. I mean, really just you have a tile, a grate, and then the rest of it is just tan, but it's fine. I mean, you don't really need any detail there, but anyway, the side of the ship is nicely built up. I like the sort of difference in the slopes between the 1x2 curved pieces and then just the cheese slopes transitioning into a plate. And you can see that on each side you have 3 cannons poking out with the little cannon doors up, and you can angle the cannon doors if you want. And then at the back, you have sort of some more grating designs for this sort of upward slope. We have this red and green flag, and then in here, you have sort of this gold railing, as well as a little brown 1x1 piece, which I guess could sort of represent the ship's wheel. So yeah, the flagship Leviathan is a pretty cool little ship build. Definitely one of the larger mini-built ships LEGO's done over the years. And yeah, if you're curious, this actually just connects into the bottle with a set of 4 jumper plates. But yeah, and again, this is pretty difficult, but basically how you would get this in there if you were going to take it in and out, and just obviously do the reverse of this if you're taking it out. So basically, first off, obviously, get it in. It's best to sort of slide it, although it can be pretty difficult with that center sail. And you want to get it in, you want to get it in, like, here. So there's just enough room behind this last mast to have one plate go in with a bit of space to spare. So then you take this section, put it on, and then at the front, you can attach on your cork with, well, I mean, it really should be the 4 main glass pieces, but I was sort of lazy. Only put the left 2 on, so I didn't have to dump out all the studs. And then just attach that on at the front. And there you go. So that's your bottle, but we're not quite done yet. Now let's look at the very nice display stand we get for it. So here we have the display stand for the LEGO Ship in a Bottle. And starting off here, you have a little plaque on the front bearing the name Leviathan on a 2x4 tile. And then you also have some of these 1x1s with clips, again in gold, sort of around that to sort of create a nice ornamental design. On each side you have 2 printed globes. They're each a half sphere, and those can just be spun around if you like. And overall, I really like how this whole thing is brown, and it looks like a wooden display stand. Like, it just looks good. Like, obviously there are gaps between the pieces, but overall, if you look at this from far away, or even not that far away, maybe only a couple feet away, you could legitimately believe that this is not even made of Lego at all, because it really doesn't even look like it's made of Lego. Which, here I kind of like. Like, on the bottle and the ship, you kind of want them to look like they're made of Lego, but for the display stand, I feel as though the more realistic design works. On top, you have a couple of gold, well, 4 gold studs for a bit of ornamental design, and those are really the only places on this entire display stand where it's really clear that those are studs, like the studs around those in between the curved tiles and just that 1x1 gold piece. Because, like, everywhere else, like, even with those studs as well as these ones on the front, those don't really, at first glance, those might not even really look like Lego studs. They could just be any sort of bit of gold decoration. But anyway, my favorite part of the display stand has to be this printed compass here, which has north, south, east, and west on it. And, this doesn't actually work, of course, but you can spin the arrow, which is a nice piece, and it's nice to get the Lego arrow piece in gold, since it's not too common in that color. And yeah, and, sort of a nice feature here is that if I bring over the bottle, you sort of have, if you put it in, like, like, if you put it in, where's the alignment? I know that if you put it in like this, with sort of the bottle, with sort of the stand clamping in between this front panel and this back panel, the ship is, well, the bottle is firmly locked in and can't move. So, yeah, that's really my opinions on the Lego flagship Leviathan ship in a bottle. Pretty awesome set, and I would definitely recommend it, but before we finish up this review, let's move on to the box, because why not? So here we have the front of the box for the ship in a bottle. You can see the LEGO Ideas logo in the bottom right, where it says that this is the 20th LEGO Ideas set that's been released by LEGO. And, one thing you might instantly notice looking at the box art is that the ship in a bottle is flipped on the box. And no, I did not build it incorrectly. The box art just has it flipped as opposed to how it appears in the instructions. Now, I don't know why LEGO did this. I guess that maybe they felt as though this worked better for the box for some reason. I don't know, but, yeah, obviously you only get one print for the stamp in the set. They just put it on the other side. And honestly, I don't mind this. Obviously, you can just build the ship in a bottle whichever way you want. Really, the only change you would have to make is to angle the sails to the other direction and flip around the stamp. But yeah, there is actually something else on this box that really angers me for like no real reason. It just annoys me. You may notice that on the box, every single stud of water, all 284 studs, are facing directly straight up. And I'm here to tell you, that is impossible. That is never going to happen. So I don't know why LEGO decided to display it with all of the studs perfectly face up, because that is just, it's impossible. It's just impossible. Forget it. And it's especially weird since that makes the water look a lot worse. The water, in my opinion, looks a lot better when you have all of the studs just tumbling onto and into each other, you know, like actual water, because having them straight up just doesn't make it look like water at all. It looks totally fake and kind of bad, so I don't know why LEGO would display it like this. But yeah, you can also see, the idea of this is that it's inside of a ship, because you can see you have the porthole in the top right showing the sea, and kind of an interesting detail, kind of nice, is that on the bottom right you can see a sort of a piece of paper showing some drawings of the ship inside of the bottle. That's a nice touch, I like it. But yeah, obviously the top, you just have some legal info, as well as the actual size image, as well as the boat on the waves. Here you can see an image of the boat in the bottle being pursued by a large octopus. On this side you have the exact same thing, and on the bottom you just have an image of, well, the Leviathan. Not the ship, the Leviathan, but, like, the actual Leviathan, the sea monster. And here on the back, you can see LEGO displaying the ship out of the bottle, which, again, very difficult to do. Personally, I would just recommend keeping it in the bottle, but if you really want to display just a bottle and then a mini ship, do whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, again, all the studs are facing up, which is completely ridiculous, but yeah. And I mean, here, it looks like there might be more than are included in the actual set in this image, because here they have a full bottle's worth of studs, and they also have all of these studs that the ship is resting on. So this everything they show of this set on the box is a lie. But you do also have a nice porthole design on the back as well. This time it's what's revealing the ship and the bottle. And yeah, pretty nice box, aside from the inconsistencies with the water. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about the LEGO Ship in a Bottle set from LEGO Ideas. Personally, I think it's pretty great. I'm not sure if I would say it's my favorite LEGO Ideas set of all time. And obviously, I'm probably my favorite would be the Back to the Future one, because that is my favorite movie, but I mean, I'll go out on a limb and say that this is probably the most unique set that we've seen from Ideas thus far. Because this is something that LEGO would never have attempted to do, and it's not something they would do again. Because, like, as much as I love a lot of, like, the franchise-based projects, there's sort of stuff LEGO's already done. Like, the DeLorean and the Ecto-1, LEGO's already done large, detailed cars. The Tron set, LEGO's already done futuristic motorcycles. But this is something truly special. We're never going to get a LEGO set like this again, so definitely pick this set up. For $70, you really can't go wrong here. This is easily, probably one of the best-looking sets LEGO's released, period, and definitely the best-looking set at LEGO's released in, at least up to this point in 2018. And really, like, aside from the Harry Potter sets, it probably is the best set of 2018. Heck, if you don't like the Harry Potter sets, this is just the best set of the year. Get this set, okay? It's good. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this awesome review, and I will see all of you in the next one. Bye-bye.